Hello and welcome to Heart Over Ego Radio. You are here today with Mandee, Eugenija, Rachel, and Bo, and we are hosting a little discussion called Creating Heaven on Earth. And it's all about ascending from the 3D to the 5D and what that looks like. Last week on our show, we talked about how that's kind of a change in perception and the way you're allowing energy to come in and what you're receiving and what you're giving. And we're going to go a little deeper into all that today. So, welcome, Eugenija. How are you today?
Hey. I'm just great. Something today, especially today, something shifted. I cannot describe what it was, but even in the morning when I wake up with the first sunshine, it was some huge shift. And as you know, today is the 4th, 2020. It's mystical number, and I just feel something is different. I can't describe it.
Beautiful. What about you, Rachel? How are you feeling?
Yeah. Well, I am 44 on the 44 portal, so I'm riding this roller coaster pretty hard today.
Woo!
So I've been a little all over the place today, actually, but I'm just getting to a place now, just focusing on like calm and peace, because that's how we really shift into 5D. There's so much going on. There's so many different theories and all kinds of things about what's actually happening, but really on this day especially, we just have to focus on really, really, truly being present and really feeling into this new earth that we hope to create.
Beautiful. And what's going on in Bo's world today?
Well, I am an essential part of the economy, apparently, which means I'm expendable. And that just means go out there and get a virus.
Pretty much.
we don't really care about you. No, but I'm well. I'm back from work, so all is well.
Good. You know, it's rough. I had a client yesterday. She's a nurse, and she had pneumonia the past, 3 weeks, and she had to go back to work yesterday. And I'm like, oh, that's scary. I wouldn't want to be recovering from pneumonia and then have to go right back on the front lines as a nurse. But they need all hands on deck, I guess.
Wow.
Well, thank you all for showing up and grounding in and holding this vibe. It's been an interesting day for me, too. I got a nice amount of sleep last night and the night before. Prior to that, it was a little kind of crazy. And then I've just been feeling a lot of energy, too, kind of like Rachel was saying, all over the place. Like my vessel, I've just wanted to, sip teas. And, I dug in the dirt and planted some seeds and went out to the beach for a while. And then, I got busy and got some work done. And I've just been all over the place. So I'm really excited, and I'm pumped to see all the possibilities that could be coming our way. So with this 4/4 portal, it's really powerful for so many people. Not only that, it's supposed to be opening up a new wave of consciousness for a lot of people on Earth, and I think we're seeing that all over the place. Bo, you made a comment on Facebook recently saying you were surprised even some of your family members were talking about things that you just never really thought that they would. Have you been noticing that collectively in some people this week, just little light bulbs going off?
I mean, mostly it's conspiracy stuff that I'm seeing on my news feed. I mean, it seems like everybody's a conspiracy theorist now. It brought it out of everyone. So, which is fine. I mean, I would rather them be conspiracy theorists than to be deniers throughout. Because then at least they're like, oh, I didn't know. And now they have a different perspective.
Well,
but yes,
I was just going to say the cool part about that is I think it's an opportunity for people to open up to a new thing. And whether their conspiracy comes true or not, it's providing the opportunity for their mind to expand or bend in a way that they didn't think was possible before.
Yeah, exactly. They're open, So, yeah, it's good. My sisters, who I mean, for the most part, they're fairly aware, for the, considering. But they came to me, both of them, with the QAnon stuff, and I was like, what? Now, watching it, I can honestly say, I mean, I've been studying David Icke's work since the 90s. So when you talk about the pedophile stuff, I'm like, yeah, I've known about that for years and years and years. And you talk about drinking blood. Yeah, I knew about that. and David even goes into a deeper explanation as to why they do it.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to like family members sharing this stuff and they're like, oh, can you believe this is happening? I'm like, yes, I've been telling you guys this shit. Of course I believe it.
Welcome to the train.
But yeah, so it's in a way it's a relief though. It's relief because it feels like, okay, something's happening. There's energy moving here.
Yeah, shit is moving. Rachel, will you give us and our listeners a quick little rundown of what all this Q stuff is about?
Well, back in October, I remember the exact date. It's October 28th of 2017. Anonymous poster came on. At that time, it was 4chan, and I'd always been a truther. I had always been questioning things, and these initial posts were so, when truth just feels different. When you read it, you just know. And having studied this, I knew that whoever was doing these posts was very high level and knew what they were talking about. And then, let's see, here we are 2.5 years later, and there's almost 4,000 QAnon posts. And they have to do it in a, so anyway, it's high level military intelligence coming from the White House. There's a huge military operation taking place right now on the planet while everyone is kind of been going about their lives. And they've been telling people who search for this information, we all kind of found these Q posts, and it was a way to kind of bring us all together under this umbrella of where we go one, we go all, and to tell us what is going on in a way where they form things like questions. They don't tell us anything because that they have to be very careful about national security. So they form things in questions. They teach us how to research. They kind of send us on the different rabbit holes, and we, the people, the Anons, and we're just regular people from all over the world. We do the legwork and we research. And it's amazing because everything was hiding in plain sight. Things like going back into celebrities, different celebrities' Twitter feeds and seeing how they talk to each other in pedophile code. You can find out who they all are. It's like, yes, this is conspiracy, but it's not. All you have to do is research. You wouldn't even believe how it's all out there. So the Q posts, it's very multidimensional. They're very spiritual, as well as political, as well as inspiring, as well as code that clearly isn't for us. It's like military intelligence giving information to other military intelligence. And to sit back and observe this whole operation, it's like they say, and even in the post, that this is biblical, what's happening. And when you're a part of it, when you read and research every post, you know that you are a digital soldier on the ground of literally a revolution that is going to change all of society as we know it. This truly is biblical. We are living in Revelations. This is what they were talking about. But the prize on the other end of learning this truth, these revelations that are coming for everyone, is this new reality, this heaven on earth that we're all going to create together. Because we aren't going to go back to how it was before. There is a new that is being birthed right now by all of us. Yeah. And we're all kind of in the egg right now creating it.
It's been pretty interesting to watch people rise up and transition, and people who never thought they could work from home are loving it and adjusting, and companies who never thought that was possible are making it happen, and teachers are stepping up. And so is it going to be a transition into this new earth or new way of being? Yeah. But something I've noticed is people are at least around where I am, and I'm in, South Jersey. So is Rachel. Rachel lives right in Atlantic City. I live right outside. And usually, people aren't always the nicest, and they've been so nice lately. They've been patient at the grocery store or smiling when you're out for a walk. And I've been really enjoying just seeing that change in people.
Yeah.
Eugenija has so much experience in research and study. She's even worked in Parliament at one point. She's highly spiritual. She's traveled all over the world. Eugenija, I'm curious about what you're seeing and what's happening during this ascension for you right now.
Well, actually, my studies, I'm sociolog, so I'm quite about statistics, and even about statistics, when I have been studying long years, and I was using them, I know how easy it is to fake them. So whatever I see, I question myself, who is behind there. So during these times now, also being on my spiritual journey, I am quite taking a little bit distance and watching what is going to happen. Like, do you remember last time we spoke and everybody was saying like on Monday, like last Monday, it will be no internet anymore for 3 days. And I had some friends within my saying like, okay, guys, now next time we will see next week or like that, on Facebook. And it happened nothing. Because it will, every time whatever comes, we have to be very critical. And because every message we are getting, every news, we have to divide it. I guess there is something going on in the world for sure.
Yeah.
There is we can't explain what it is, but I don't know what it is going on because I'm out of politics. I'm not there anymore. I am on my spiritual journey. I'm doing completely different stuff. But we always have to stay realistic. And now I would like also to say something about spiritual community. Spiritual community, in my opinion, has nothing to do in politics. And stepping and taking one part in these all discussions now, evil or good or whatever, it is not about spirituality. Spirituality is about spirituality. Church has not to be involved in the politics. The same spirituality, it has nothing to do with politics. If we are spiritual, if you see, for example, politician guide or president, as spiritual person, I have to see him as so. I have to respect him on his spiritual journey he's now. So it is quite, that's why I put myself back on the observer position. Also, I'm lucky that I speak many languages. Whatever news I'm getting, I'm always proofing in different language, in different, if I get the language in English, news, I'm checking again in German language, what it is. Just television in Germany say exactly the same about the same thing or not. So that's one thing, because there are many manipulations. It is easy to manipulate if people are busy. Like if somebody we trust and he says something, we want to trust him. And most of the time, the leaders, that's how they are manipulating. They are doing any fact they are taking, giving us, which is true, another fact, which is true, and the third one, which is fake. But because we trusted one time, second time, we even don't question about the third time.
So true. Bo talks about that a lot, and like how propaganda is always, manipulating people, right, Bo?
Yeah, I mean, it is. I don't think we can get away from it unless you get away from all electronics with the screen, because they have an agenda. They want to hypnotize you.
Yeah, so, but the most important now is maybe not to get involved too much. Just step a little bit, wait a little bit, and just see what is going on. Because the most important now, if we speak about coronavirus, coronavirus is attacking lungs. If we are scared, we are not breathing. We are breathing just with half lungs and very quickly. That's exactly what weakens not only immune system, but also our lungs. And then there is coronavirus, which additionally attacks lungs. So even for the epidemic, it is not useful to be scared. So whatever happens, I'm suggesting they're going back in our hearts. They're seeing what it is around us and not outside, not in Africa, not in the US, not in Europe, not in Italy. We stay here.
See, that's some advice that I want from both you and Bo today, is how do we do that? You guys have done the work for so many people by, doing the research and seeing what feels true and what doesn't or what contradicts. How do you encourage people to start learning for themselves here in the new earth?
Just be the example. And that's really the only thing that you can be. You can tell somebody till you're blue in the face that, okay, you need to stop consuming this. You need to drink more water, and they'll, give you that empty-eyed stare So it's like, well, okay, you can't do it, but you can actually represent it, do it, and then folks will say, oh, well, how long have you been doing that? Why are you doing that? And then, you know, as they see you being the example, they'll be turned on from it.
Yeah.
That's how this energy thing works. And as we move into the new earth here, there's going to be a lot more forms of communication, and it's going to be a lot more about energy and showing up and using less words, and some telepathy might come in. Rachel, maybe you can speak about all that a little bit.
That's definitely part of it. In fact, I've noticed that the telepathic aspect, because I have a lot of fellow light workers and starseeds on my Facebook feed, and it's amazing when I watch the feed some days. It's like everyone's thinking about the same thing at the same time, and it's like the same words will come up multiple times from multiple different people, or the same concepts. And we really are tapped into a collective consciousness, and the more we're all vibrating in love, the sooner that becomes all we experience in the outer world that we're all projecting.
Beautiful. Well, so what's on everybody's hearts and minds right now? What do we want to jam about here? We've got a lot of things to discuss.
When it comes to the Q stuff, that really, I don't know what that video was called that you sent me that had the parts.
Oh, the Fall of the Cabal. I sent that one to Bo, Rachel, and Rachel knows that one pretty well, so we can totally chat about that.
So it was like 9 parts, right?
Yeah, 10,
like that, right?
Something like that.
Okay, 9 or 10. Now, I'm on board when you're explaining, you're talking about the background stuff. I'm on board. They lost me when they pulled in John F. Kennedy Jr. into it, and they said, oh, he's really been in disguise, and this is what he looks like now, or they said, could it be him? I'm like, why the fuck would you even bring that up? It was so unnecessary. It was totally left field. And I'm having a hard enough time looking at Trump as some type of savior and some
too
type
much
of
overload.
Yeah, and then you're gonna bring in John F. His death was faked. What? And this is what he looks like. He was a handsome dude, and now he looks like this ogre. Come on, man.
Rachel knows a little bit about this.
A whole lot. Yeah. The JFK, the whole JFK Jr. thing is, I wonder what the percentage is among QAnon followers, because there is a divide on those that believe that he is the mastermind behind it, which I am of that camp, and then the ones who don't believe it. And what I'm finding is, so first of all, everything with Q has to be plausible deniability. That's the only way they can do this. So they can't come out and say that JFK Jr. is alive and that he's behind the whole thing. Because honestly, that's the biggest secret. When it came out, when that started becoming like a thing that people were onto it, Q kind of shut that down, but they didn't fully shut that down. So there's been so many, I guess, JFK Jr. proofs, I want to say. There is this guy who's been in the audience that's clearly in disguise, this Vincent Fusca, who has no history at all, but yet he dresses like this crazy Trump person, and he's always strategically positioned behind Trump in the crowd. And several different people play this guy because the guy has a different nose in every picture. So there's definitely something about him. Plus the name Vincent Fusca means conquering darkness. So, and then there was another Trump rally where next to Vincent Fusca was this girl, and she was photographed, and she was photographed smiling. It was Carolyn. Like you know, when you're trying to figure out if someone is somebody, you know, you're looking for things like the teeth and the ear and everything. Carolyn had this big smile that when you see the picture of this girl sitting next to Vincent Fusca, she's down a couple from him, you know it's her. And then when you start so then there's more. So here's the proof. Everyone, I'll just shut up and everyone can go to the proof. There is a documentary called Dark Legacy. You can find it on YouTube or, you know, wherever you watch stuff. And it's a documentary from 2007. It was made, and it's about the real story behind the assassination of JFK. And it shows that George Bush Sr. was the mastermind behind the Kennedy assassination. And so here's the cool part. You go and you listen to that documentary, it's JFK Jr. narrating it in 2007. I mean, I'm telling everyone, go listen to it and then go find some old interviews of JFK Jr. on YouTube. It's him. Then
we'll share it on the page and then we can all debate about it. This will be fun.
And then there's one other. There's also an anonymous guy going by the name 107, which breaks down to 107, which breaks down to 17, which breaks down to Q. This guy calls into some of these different kind of underground Q-focused like radio shows, podcast type thing. And he basically just lectures for a couple hours. All I know is he's basically all but said that he's JFK Jr. You hear the accent. The knowledge he has on everything going on from a spiritual perspective to a political perspective, whoever this man is going to be the next president of the United States. So if you're a thinking person, you put all these things together and you know that as the son of Kennedy, he would have known who killed his father. He made George magazine in the 90s, which was a blatant thing to say, I know who killed my dad. It's really not that much of a stretch, especially when you know that Hillary Clinton got the Senate seat that he was going to run for, that he had a bullet on his head. So he's about the only one who could have gone underground to do this operation. The Q posts say POTUS and JFK Jr. relationship, 1999, the start of the plan, basically. So when you realize that we have like the full weight of like a military alliance working with JFK Jr., who would have gone underground, I mean, the people that are being taken down right now are the same people that killed JFK. They're the same people that rose to power. They were essentially Nazis. I mean, definitely go watch Dark Legacy. I mean, it's absolutely fascinating when you learn the true history. I mean, yeah.
That's another problem I have with the videos, is that they didn't mention the Bushes at all in any of it.
Yeah.
Not senior or junior. So, like, why the fuck would you miss that out if he was behind JFK Senior's?
Because I think that's going to be a big part of the rollout that's coming. Like, there's so many different there's
so you're speculating, though. You're not sure.
Yeah, it's like every conspiracy is coming together now. And, I mean, how they roll it out, I'm sure, has been analyzed and reanalyzed a million times. I don't know who made that particular 10-part video. It feels, everything has to be anonymous. And so
I call her the Dutch lady.
Yeah. I mean, like, the Dutch lady could totally be part of the Q operation, but we would never know, because Q is just this, it's all of us, essentially. That's the whole phrase, this umbrella that we all fall under as patriots in the second revolution. Where we go one, we go all. It's like we're all sort of Neo at our desktops, doing the research, because all of this has been hidden in plain sight. And as soon as we see it, as soon as we shine a spotlight on all of this, I mean, this corruption and this pure evil, I mean, the things they were doing to the children, that's hell. There is no greater hell than what's about to be revealed. So, speaking about as far as, did the lockdown happen when we thought? Here's the thing. Dan Scavino, who is like basically President Trump's right-hand man, he's been posting a countdown on his Twitter page. Every day there's just a photo, and the first photo had like 10 flags in it, and then the next day there was a picture of like 9 service members, and then the next day there was something with 8. So the 10 days of darkness that none of us that read the Q post know exactly how the 10 days of darkness is going to go down, but we're in it. What's that?
I thought it was 3 days.
They're saying 3 days that will be without phone and internet, which is necessary. They have to reset the system. I mean, like with all the AI and all the stuff that they were doing, I mean, it's going to have to go down. When it's all going to start, we were all thinking it would start at the beginning of 10 days of darkness, but all bets are off on how it's actually going to happen. I just know it's going to happen. I mean, the Q posts have been very clear that when this all starts, it's going to be with the presidential alert. That's why they tested that a few years ago. I mean, it basically the military, will be able to take over our phones. And the thing is, I know for a lot of people that seems scary, and I understand it as a quote unquote conspiracy theorist. It's just I was a Democrat, Bernie Sanders supporter, and through my research, and I realize that Trump is of the light. So what they are doing now is for our highest good. It is. They're going to have to keep us all in our homes. They're about to round up some really, really, really sick psychopathic individuals. So as long as we're all in our homes, so I don't know exactly how the mission is going to go down. I don't know the exact moment they're going to lock us down, but I know we're within that time. I mean, you know, from having done the research, I would say this is a good time to just kind of sit tight in your house and only go out if you absolutely need to, because there are things taking place. I mean, we're already hearing stories of the kids getting rescued. So, you know, obviously.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of like nurse information on that and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people can fathom the depth of this. I mean, like, we are talking about millions of kids that have been held underground for, like, I mean, you got to, like, imagine, like, Matrix type stuff, you know? Like,
why isn't, like, I mean, I'm not saying that there's, you know, the media isn't owned by somebody, but you would think that if this was something really big, they'd have to cover it.
The media.
Now, I'm of the same mind that, you know, they can control information. I get that. But if it's this on this scale, I'd see a lot more of it online.
It's all going to come out. Like, it's all coming out. You know, it's like a trickle, and then all of a sudden it's going to be a flood. I mean, Trump didn't kiss off that ship for no reason. The whole world's going to find out exactly why those ships are on either coast right now. I mean, like, we're all going to be sitting down watching our TVs very soon and finding out, like, what the heck is going on. And I have a feeling, because here's the thing, Trump is so divisive. They need someone who's going to be a uniter. And that's why the JFK Jr. timeline, I mean, when you think about everything, if you're planning the greatest mission to save the earth, I mean, is there anyone who could come out from the end and tell us where he's been for the past 20 years to unite everyone? Republicans, Democrats, left, right, like, everyone is going to come together under this. JFK Jr., at least in the 107 interviews, he is very Christian, and yet he understands energy, and he understands the occult, you know, the dark satanic forces that we've been up against. I mean, his depth of understanding, it makes me feel good knowing that whoever this person is, and like I said, my belief is that it is JFK Jr., we are in very good hands. So that's the best I can give you right now.
Well, the thing with Trump that I don't quite get, why everybody is, like, you know, feeling a need to rah this guy up, is that he's got 15 sexual assault accusations against him. One, he was very detailed about actual raping, and it just does not feel like he would be somebody to do this.
There was literally no one else that could. And I think we really have to question some of those sources. I mean, you know, there are things like Mandee and I have talked about. Mandee didn't realize that Trump has never taken a sip of alcohol in his life. And he's never done a single drug. This is not a man who
like him less.
Be like partying once saw the girls. He lived among them, and yet was stone cold sober and figured out their game. I would actually bet that Trump has been a part of this operation to save the planet the whole time, because his family has direct ties to Nikola Tesla, and that brings a whole new spin to this conversation. Because from my research, I believe that Donald Trump does have the Tesla codes, the information for free energy, for time travel, and that's through his uncle, John G. Trump, who was the one that was brought in to decipher Tesla's papers when Tesla died. So you're talking...
Wasn't his grandfather, like, part of the Nazis as well?
Who was that? I'm sorry, what was that?
Wasn't his grandfather part of the Nazis as well?
Trump?
Yeah, they was drunk at some point.
It's totally possible. I'm not saying that Trump is clean. I mean, I hated Trump. I mean, you should have heard me in 2015. I was a Bernie Sanders girl. You know, I mean, I thought if Trump won, we were gonna, you know, it was the end of us. But actually, the opposite. Literally, from all my research that I've done, if Hillary had won the election, we would, like, not be alive right now. what they had planned for the genocide on this planet, 90% of the population. I mean, you just have to go look up do your research. Go look up the Georgia Guidestones, and it's a monument down in Georgia that is supposed to be like, someone obviously put millions of dollars into building this thing, and it's like a Rosetta Stone, and it has like rules for humanity, and it's supposed to be like one of those monuments that survive a cataclysm. And the first rule at the top says, so rules for humanity: keep the population of the planet below 500 million. We're on a planet with 8 billion people. There are some very rich people that had planned to kill off a lot of us. And we're going to find out in the coming weeks, months, that Bill Gates and, and our leaders that we thought were philanthropists. I can't.
That's such a hard word.
They had an evil agenda for this planet. And the thing is, this is the stuff that was coming out in the Q posts. They were trying to tell us, have us figure out who all the players were. So all of this is going on until all of a sudden it's not. There is going to be a moment that all of humanity is going to have. It's going to be that shit your pants moment, and everyone's going to be happy that they have their toilet paper. So it's coming. I can't say what day it's going to be, but we're in it, guys. Like we're in it.
I mean, I'm kind of torn by it because I understand what they're doing, and I also understand why they're doing it. Humans are not acting in a sustainable manner.
Oh no!
I mean, we're extremely selfish, and we don't care about anyone else but ourselves.
This is our time out. Everyone's in.
Well, maybe so, but how many people are stopping from eating meat? Because animal agriculture is the biggest problem when it comes to climate change or sustainability. How many do you really think are going to stop eating meat? And then I'm like, well, maybe they do need to go, so we can have a peaceful, utopian planet.
See, that's where I like to look at all that too. It's like, I very much honor right now, for everybody listening, whether you're worried about someone who is sick or might get sick, or you're doing, your shadow work and wondering if you'll be able to ascend to the 5D because you can't forgive your mother or whatever it is. It's really important right now to remember, just like as Bo was saying, all you can do is lead by example and be the change that you wish to see in the world. And I very much believe that we as souls are infinite, and we come back over and over to this planet and other planets and different experiences. And when our soul has completed whatever it chose to come here to do and learn, then it can ascend when it so chooses. And I think our higher selves get to choose that. So like as Bo was saying, some people might just die off. They might choose to do that because they might not want to ascend to a world, that only has humane meat and you only, eat it very sacredly or not at all. Or, they might not want to think outside the box that there was, they worked their whole life, and they were basically a slave. So they might end up having a stroke or something might come up. People's higher selves will choose when they go. And I believe very much that the higher forces and Rachel's white hats, as she's always talking about, and our angels and the universe really do have our back through all of this too. So it's about also trusting and believing that everything for the highest good is happening. And if a soul chooses to leave right now, it chooses to leave, and that it'll be back if it so chooses.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's what I got on that. But I do see a mass exit, especially if what Rachel's saying goes down. And can you imagine what's going to happen? Like, if we are all like, I don't really know if this is going to happen or not, but it's nice to have the heads up, because if they do shut down the phones and internet, and everyone is exposed to this knowledge, like, people are going to be rocked.
I mean, here's the thing. There are currently 160,000 sealed indictments in this country alone. So that's fact. That's never happened before in the history of the world. Before that, maybe in like a big mafia, RICO case, there would have maybe been 1,000 sealed indictments. This is unprecedented what is happening. Those are real. And those
how do you find out, how do you verify sealed indictments?
So there are people that go on, I believe it's like pacer.gov, and they go around to like these are what the Anons do. These are what the QAnons are. They go around and they're adding up, because basically, like, when an indictment is listed, I don't know exactly how it looks, although there's all these charts and stuff people have made tracking them. When indictments will be like posted and, so and so against so and so, but then it'll be like indictment sealed. So you can just count up how many of those, and they do that to not tip off other people. And a federal sealed indictment means that a grand jury has been convened, a case has been presented against you, and enough without you ever even knowing that this ever happened. And so there are 160,000 of these sealed indictments. So people that are about to be arrested that don't know they're about to be arrested. Now, here's where it gets fun. Trump already did an executive order in December 21st of 2017, seizing all the assets, basically, of everyone involved in this, massive corruption, crimes against humanity. So literally, all the wealth of the 1% pyramid is about to flip back to the people. So this is all in the process of unfolding. So there basically is a miracle unfolding around us, and some of us see it more than others. But eventually, we'll all see the miracle, I guess is the best way to describe it.
And when it comes to, like, who initiated the virus, whether it was man-made or it came from eating bats, I mean, I honestly think it was genetically engineered.
It was made.
But,
This was a virus.
It was. I mean, all the viruses seem to have that same.
A lot of people are pointing to Bill Gates these days.
Bill Gates just did a plan or some Event 201 that ran a scenario of a coronavirus killing off most of the population. That was literally just done in this past fall of 2019. I mean, they don't even try to hide it. That's what's crazy, and so once all this is exposed, they can't do it anymore. Like, so what we need to be doing now, actually what we should be focusing on, is what does the world look like without these evil people in power? We've never been allowed to even perceive of it. Imagine if all the laws aren't written to protect the adrenochrome trade. Imagine if, imagine having politicians that aren't blackmailed because of something that happened at Epstein Island. We don't even know what it's like to live in that world, and that world is about to be upon us, and we have 160,000 verifiable sealed indictments that there is a whole lot of people about to go down. And,
when you talk about Epstein Island, that would bring Trump right into it too, because he's been there a number of times. This is the whole thing. Trump found out what was going on at Epstein Island, has been trying to take this whole thing down. There's actually a really good YouTube video called The Second American Revolution, and it's from the YouTube channel Where We Go One, We Go All. And they talk about like stories among the elites about how Trump was taken down to the island one time and he was so horrified by what he saw. Remember, this is a man that doesn't drink. So what they were doing down there was running a blackmail operation. This was the Clinton Foundation. I mean, in fact, Epstein was working with like the CIA and this is also interconnected. Like you can't have one thing without the other. Like every single thing going on can link to like the Clintons, to Epstein, to like to this whole adrenochrome trade, and like it's all interconnected. Yeah, but every picture I've seen with Trump and Epstein, they're smiling, having a good time, partying. So it's not like he looked horrified in any of the pictures. Yeah, but
I've read 4,000 Q posts that are coming directly from the Trump administration, which paints a completely different story. In fact, Trump had Epstein barred from Mar-a-Lago. And it's such a crazy world that I'm even like defending Trump. But what I'm telling you is that man who is our president right now is legit trying to take down the child traffickers, satanic pedophiles.
I like what David Wilcock proposed is like, look at Trump as your dad right now. Like, you might not like him, you might not agree with him, you might be really pissed because he cheated on your mom or something might have happened. You didn't say all that, but if you look at him like in that sense, And like, you know, I like to hold space for change. It's what we're doing here on Heart Over Ego. You know, we're waiting for people to decide to want to change and heal themselves and jump in and be the change they wish to see. So like, maybe Trump was like a jerk for a really long time. Maybe he did rape people and maybe he was bad. Maybe he is a true full narcissist. And when he got presented the idea of like, you'll be the savior of the world if you execute this plan, like he might be like, yeah, I could do that. And like, how many other people could handle all that shit he's taken? Like, that's a lot.
I honestly don't think anyone else would have had the stamina for it. You almost have to be this completely bombastic, so full of yourself person. But I truly believe because the post that Trump himself does in the Q post, he signs at Q+. And they are so inspiring. Like, talk about a father, talk about a general who is like trying to like keep the troops going, you know, and I consider myself one of the troops in the war. And, you know, it's like whatever his past is, and none of us is perfect. And like I said, I used to hate the man, and I have forgiven myself.
We lost Rachel. Oh, there you are.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there you are. We lost you for a second. No one's perfect, and you've forgiven yourself.
I've forgiven myself for the hate that I used to have in my heart towards Trump, because I realized that no one's perfect, and this man, no matter what we may think of him, or no matter how narcissistic he is, he's the only one that could do what he's doing, and he legit is taking down evil in this world. I mean, and it's like, you know, like people are like, oh, they don't want to get into Trump worship and everything. I'm not worshiping the man, but like having such an about face, being so anti-Trump, and then realizing what he's doing. When people see the gravity of this, when it all comes out, the amount of kids and what has happened and what has happened to our whole society, we are going to be infinitely grateful for what Trump has done. Now, this is again why I believe that JFK Jr. will come out. I think that Trump was just here to destroy everything. And I think Junior will probably be our next president. That's just my prediction. But
why even like latch yourself onto the idea of John F. Kennedy Jr. when it does not really matter? I mean, my point is that whether he does that or not, we have to depend on ourselves. We have to create our own mindset. We have to think our own thoughts and attract something to us. If we're waiting for a savior or, oh, man, this is going to happen, it does not serve us.
We're not waiting. We're attracting in a perfect timeline for humanity. And when you think about the reality in the real world, what is going to unite us? We are going to need a uniter. JFK unites people. So the son of JFK telling us that Hillary Clinton, yes, was doing the most horrific, evil things, and here is the proof. You need someone that is stomachable to tell you that kind of information. I mean, humanity as a whole is going to learn information in the coming weeks that are horrific.
So I think that's a good question, and I'm curious for some of your teaching, Bose. Like, what do you think? How do you encourage people, you know, whether it's the Rachels and the Qs out there and this doesn't come to fruition and, you know, and they're let down, or, you know, they're skeptical and they don't believe this is happening and they just want to heal themselves. You know, you were talking really quite a bit about taking inventory of yourself. So what do you recommend for people to do at this time?
Yoga, vegan. I mean, getting in
agree.
touch with yourself. You know, that's the whole thing. This hopeful shit. I've been following this stuff long enough to get to know why I'm jaded. I don't look for a savior. I don't need a savior. I need everybody around me to wake up, not necessarily to find something to grasp onto as far as, then once it happens, or if it doesn't happen, then all their energy goes towards that individual instead of themselves again. Now, I'm of the mindset that if you can't wake up, don't expect someone to wake you up. You have to take responsibility and accountability for what you do, what you think, how you handle yourself, what you consume, all of it.
We're on
and
hold.
then you become that person.
And, hang on one sec, Rachel. I wanted to pull Eugenija in. Eugenija, this is where you come in a lot because you've been like, wow, you've done the research, you've believed in things and then been let down. And now you're really leading, what it's like to lead by example into this new earth, especially when it comes to, politics and separating that and separating out, certain things and coming back into your spirituality. What's that looking like for you, Eugenija?
I'm far away from being example. Thank you for saying this, but I'm really far away from being example. Just what I learned in my life till now. I am very skeptical. I don't want to put some, what I see happening because I'm not sure. If I am not sure, I'm keeping back. Because when I see, you sent me also the link to watch these 10 films, and because I was living 1 year in China just 6 months ago. We came back to live in Europe. So I know quite well the situation. I still have friends there. And when I'm getting the, small videos, short videos showing what is going on, what we have to take care about and like that. Oh my gosh, so much fakes there are between them. It is not worthy even to talk about it. So it is a waste of time. And when you send me the link about cool films, I started watching, and before just starting watching, I was in very good mood and easy going, blah blah. Then I started watching, and then suddenly I felt fear. Oh my gosh, there is something going around in the world. I have to take care. Oh, they are bad. Only showing with a finger something is bad, somebody is bad. It means something in you is not okay. Also. Right. It is. We are stepping again into this duality. So, and actually, what I see, that's a perfect time now. Even I'm I repeat myself again, a spiritual journey about spiritual community. And now I'm much more worried about this. There are many spiritual leaders offering courses about 0 point. Everybody knows 0 point is the definition. The fashion word. And the same guru who provides that course, he is putting herself in the front of one line and making politics. Those, they are bad and we should fight with them. So what kind of 0 point courses are you offering? You are out of 0, you are plus or minus. So, and what I liked a lot, there was recently a post from one person who was saying there are some people nowadays who are falling into positivity even too much, and they think, wow, after now we will all levitate, everything is going to be perfect, blah, blah, blah. It's very positive. Another part of people, they are saying, oh my gosh, there is now we will get all prisons. There are so many prisons in the U.S. made for all of us. We will be chips, and the world is finished, negative part. And there is in the middle, they are saying, oh yes, it is going to be okay. Let's stay calm and observe what is going to, put the attention inside in you. What do you have there? With which skills? What do you want us to do with your time? Where do you want us to go in the future? Where do you want us to live? What do you want to plant in your garden? There are many approaches. So what I see, and I repeat again, everything what I start watching, if it makes me a little bit negativity, I'm thinking, stop, that's not mine. So it is. Good. It is taking you out from it because it is duality. This is game. If you are ready to show with a finger of somebody, no, it is not the right thing to do. It is not your business. And this will be the 3D and 5D. Those people, if you are in the 5D, you are watching yourself. And first of all, you have to love yourself. Then, once you love yourself, you watched enough and you cleared everything. you are ready to ascend to the fifth dimension, then you are not looking, you greet, like, the word namaste, it means I greet the God in you. So I cleared myself. I'm ready to be on the 5D. I'm just giving an example. I have a lot of bad things still to clear. Don't worry about it. But if I am ready, if I one day, I will be ready.
He said, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
I'm going to clear it up. Don't worry about it. Go fuck yourself.
He'll be like, I'll call Mandee for a card. It's fine.
Once I'm there, once in 5 years I'm there, I'm cleared, then I'm there and I'm meeting somebody, I'm saying, I greet God in you. So we are then all on that level and there is no any more duality.
Namaste.
Exactly. I love that. So Rachel has been born into this earth with visions of the new earth and what that can look like if we all choose to evolve and when we all ascend together. And this is a little bit now and a little bit way down the road. But Rachel, you've held some really amazing visions of what New Earth could possibly look like once we allow ourselves to evolve there.
Oh yeah, I mean one of the things. So trying to think where to start with this.
All future, all New Earth. The rest of the show, we're going in and we're meditating all together.
Well, I guess what I wanted to say is the first way for me to tap in is to eliminate all restrictions in dreaming about it. And I find that money is the one thing that most logical thinkers can't let go of when we're even dreaming about the new earth, because it's like we think in terms of, oh, well, so it's like if we're imagining our own existence, and if you're still thinking, well, I want to have this job, right? It's still, I want to say that's maybe fourth dimension, right? Fifth dimension is where the need for money is fully transcended, and where our true essence, who we are, can create. And so it's like being reborn. Like when children are born, they're pure creators, and then the school system just snuffs that out of them. So that's one of the things. First of all, in the New Earth, school systems are completely different. I mean, schools should be, first of all, our most gorgeous architecture, the highest technology that's given to our children. Like they are our future, and they've been so suppressed. I mean, if we took a kid that shows any kind of genius, at age 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we set them on the path through our schools being just that place where they can be given all the tools they need to expand what their natural gift is. That's how we transform society, and we do it very, very quickly. I have a hunch that that's why all our schools are closed right now. I don't really see things opening up, going back to how they were before, because on the other side of us learning what the old was, we have to start fresh. And that's the other thing about this time while we're all home, is we're getting into ourselves and finding out, well, what do we enjoy doing? What do I enjoy making? What do I enjoy creating? And so it's really just aligned to a vibration, and then you'll find that these visions of the new earth become more and more clear. I mean, technology has been kept from us. Cures have been kept from us. So imagine a world where there is no suffering of any kind. So I mean, pretty much if you say to yourself, when I go into that visualization place, no suffering of any kind, money is not needed at all.
Give us an example of that. You have some really good, far out there, mind expanding examples that we could meditate on.
Oh, well, let's see. Well, you know what? If you can share that meditation, Mandee, I do have a YouTube video.
I will.
Sort of a New Earth sort of proclamation. It kind of like, it's sort of the vision, and you kind of just close your eyes and listen to it. But for me, it's a world of instant manifestation. It's a world in complete harmony with nature. It's a world where we work, where humanity is put first. I mean, everything is so upside down in the 3D. so upside down. We've lost our connection to one another. We've lost our connection to ourselves. When we start realizing that, like, why do we even, like, allow things like homelessness? You know, things like why, like, we could so easily as a society just decide that we take care of everyone. You know, this whole thing is like, oh, I don't want to pay for their health care, blah, 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 blah. Should we not have every human in pristine health? And the thing is, this entire matrix system was designed to keep us from finding all that. So now we move into a world where we are healthy, where we live in a vibration where the frequency alone keeps all of our cells like completely at its pristine, perfect place. When you just take away all of the limiting thought factors of this old matrix system, for me, it just becomes apparent. I mean, everything's just so bright and clean and fresh and new, and like I feel it. You know, I feel it and I see it in the same way. And that's why I said I at least have one thing that's sort of, you know, in a YouTube video that kind of says it really well.
We'll share that on the page because it's absolutely wonderful. Eugenie, what are some things that you want to feel into or like to visualize for the new world that we're coming into?
It should, what I wish, whatever happens, it should happen harmonious for everybody of us. And if you, like, you know, it's just like, I will repeat boring words we have heard and read many times. If you want to change the world, start from yourself.
Yes.
If you want to become vegetarian, the world became vegetarian. If you want to, whatever you do, first try on yourself and then harmonious, because nowadays it is already happening. People, they are creating like villages, and people, they are building houses for very cheap. It is like materials, they could cost even very, very cheap. So it is everything open. We need some rules for sure, like, you know, because, for example, I can give, we need some system, that's for sure. Because, like, if I want to listen music very loud all night and another neighbor doesn't want, that's very simple. But we need it to be regulated, that's for sure. But if everything's possible in our world. Like, you know, I am in Europe. I'm quite allowed to do what I want and to make constructions, what I want to do, like, you know, to change my world, my life, to take decisions where I want to move, as long as my health allows me. Like, you are allowed to do what you wanted to do, and you can travel. We are quite free to create our lives. The only one thing, it is again for us, to eliminate the fear. What do I want for me? Because what I want for the society doesn't mean it needs society. But what I want for me, and then do it. Eliminate the fears and go ahead. That's what I would wish also, that most people, they remember about their own power. They step in this own power, but not to rule others, just to rule.
I love that. I love that. We only have about a minute and a half left. Bo, what are some things that you're wanting to see and call in here on the 4-4 portal for the new Earth?
Orgies.
Yeah.
No. I mean, keep it to yourselves, whatever it is.
Sacred sexuality, man. You know, listen, orgasm is the only way you get from the physical to the non-physical.
I'm not that freaky. Although I would fuck an alien. I'm just saying. If it came down, I'd have some, but she'd have to be sexy. She didn't, you know. She's one of them green ones from Star Trek. One of them 3 titty hoes from Total Recall, yes. But yes, that's what I mean, you know, and all the other good shit too.
And all the other good shit. Well, thank you to our listeners. Thank you to Rachel and Eugenija and Bo for being here. I honor you all so much. And thanks for everyone who took some time out. Take a few moments, honor your feelings. They're sacred. If you're having a hard time, it's okay. Feel that out. And then, do something that's a medicine of yours. Dance, pray, do what you need to do. Keep an open mind and allow yourself to trust that you're safe and you're protected right now. And we're on our way to a new earth. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Have a great night.
Thanks, Mandee.
Thank you, Mandee. Thank you all too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.